Life is a challenge. So we bring you something to inspire you. Red Talks with Rotti Hut. Motivation for the life. What was the turning point in your life? Before you answer that, I will start the game as well.
Sure.
We would love to hear the story.
All right. I'm Patras. Of course, probably you already introduced. Originally from Pakistan, a state called Punjab. So we are Punjabis. We speak Punjabi. That's the mother tongue. Coming to the actual life, we had a reasonably good start of the life in Pakistan, and got the education there, and started thinking that we probably have a different lifestyle. So yeah, traveled around here and there, and then finally came back to New Zealand. Came to New Zealand actually. Yeah, sort of. It was just like an old start, as everybody does. The normal. It is always challenging for the first 5 to 6 months to start your journey, and we all, or like a certain, at least me, came up with certain amount of funds that I could survive, and then after that I had to put some efforts. Which was okay. We started a job and self-employment. I have always been kind of in business, whether it is very small. Probably that's where I started from, and I believe that everybody has started from small and have to the stage where we can call them big, whether it is chains or whether it is the big business giants around there in the market. So exactly the same thing. I came to New Zealand, had those difficult times, and then I decided possibly I want to do something differently where I can. My background was completely different, even though I've done sort of sales and marketing, but my background was journalism. That's what I studied, and then coming here to New Zealand, challenge was first to basically not learn English, but to learn speaking English. How to speak it.
That was a little challenge, was it?
It was a challenge. Since in Pakistan we don't speak a lot of English. Now things are different. So back in when we were educated, and back in the 80s or early 90s, possibly we didn't have that.
So when did you actually move to New Zealand?
I came to New Zealand in 2000.
2000.
Just after the millennium.
Right.
It's the start.
Yes.
It was just early 2000.
Right.
It's been just over 22 years now when I came to New Zealand for the first time. But when I say for the first time, because myself and my wife Samantha and family, we moved back to Pakistan for a little while.
Right.
It was about 5 years we were out of New Zealand, and we came back in 2011. So that's why I said for the first time and probably the second time, because second time was equally a difficult start. And in fact, I think first time it was easier than the second time when we came back as a family. Because when you're a single young man, it's possibly easier to start because you can just go anywhere, do any.
You had the freedom.
Do any job and sleep in the car and do all sorts of difficult things if you have to. But when you have a family, then you have to make different.
You got commitments in the more responsibilities adding up.
That's right. Yeah.
So the most challenging part and the turning point was you just decided to come to New Zealand.
It has been, yes. It was difficult coming here. It wasn't an easy task, particularly that time 22 years ago, 25 years ago, when the information wasn't that handy and available.
That's right.
The internet, and it was very manual, and you have to think
Analog.
Exactly.
Kinda.
So it was very manual. Manual, and probably the background I'm from, I'm not very privileged background, so it's reasonably good, but not extremely privileged where I have all the information handy and available and all the resources available either. So it's basically a process and start. So coming to New Zealand, it was like a decision to make. Like you come to New Zealand, leave your country, leave your place where you are, where you're comfortable. Let's put it this way: where you speak the language and you do the things there. You're educated there. You have families, you have friends, you have support, and then you decide to leave. Even though you think that we are leaving for a better lifestyle, which is probably, but that it takes its price.
Right. So for the program today, for the Red Talks, we invited Patras. Patras, welcome to the program, and I would love to know that who is Patras and what do you do? Just a little bit about yourself, please.
Sure. I'm Patras Chaudhry. As I said, I'm originally from Pakistan, so that's where this family name comes from as well. I am a business owner for Harcourt's, one of the franchises I own in Ellerslie, just on Great South Road, next to the Chinese consulate. I'm also a business owner for a property maintenance company called Track Limited. We are builders and we also do the full scale property maintenance.
Right.
Now, just started establishing a sales side of it. It's called Team Patras. So we started sort of engaging and we started selling. I have a full history of selling the properties and running businesses. However, this particular business which I own today, it's called Harcourt's Patras & Co. or Patras & Co. Real Estate Limited, which I started back in about 10 years ago in 2012. We were based in Ellerslie. I also have a very strong commitment with communities. I have a strong commitment with our Pakistani community. And I'm also the treasurer at Pakistan New Zealand Business Council.
Right.
Also, we have a trust called Untitled Trust, Untitled Education Trust, so I'm a trustee there as well. So it's a busy lifestyle.
It is, isn't it? And as you said that you were born in somewhere else and now you live in somewhere else, and you have achieved a lot of things so far in your life. How did you keep that patience level that, to maintain this progress? And how did you start and you came this far? How was that journey gone through? Did you face any disappointing moments in that journey, or how did you overcome those issues and all in your day-to-day life? Even it could be the personal life as well.
Unlike anyone who has gone so far in their life and up to a certain point where I am, I wouldn't say I'm a very big businessman, but I certainly pay my bills and do things really comfortably. And I suppose coming to this level, any business, when you start, it's small, and then you work hard your way, and then it takes its toll, and 14 hours a day work, and sometimes 16 hours a day, and sometimes you're working for 7 days a week. It was when I started the Patras & Co. Real Estate, it was used to be Hub Realty. So when we started as rentals, so it was only one-man show, just me. So I started from zero base. It was very challenging, with a very little income or sometimes no income. However, I had that the patience that it's not only about making some money or paying your bills and all that. It's something which I always believe I want to do something where I have a sense of achievement later in life. Possibly 20 years later or 30 years later, I have a sense of achievement that I've achieved something. Well, certainly I've built up a business which I can leave a legacy, or possibly I can at least...
You got a vision there,
Exactly, I can at least work on it and also provide some other people if part of that with me, so they can also have employment with me.
Right.
So they started. It took me about 3 to 4 years to start employing the people. But like I said, all those 3 years I was one-man show.
Right.
It was a hard journey, but I had a support Certainly from Samantha, my wife, she every time she was a good support for me. She is in the business as well, so definitely she helped me a lot as well. And it sort of gives you when you have a support, it always gives you patience. Okay, well, the time will come. And it took long 10 years to come to this point, but certainly I feel that I'm very privileged now. And I feel it is the time that I will start growing up. And overall within the business, we have a reasonably good team. We have about 16 people working with us all together in all the parts, and then plus the contractors. So it's a privilege that having all those people. I've got a great team, and most of the people who work with me, they're with me sort of for the last 5 years, 6 years, 4 years, but they don't leave me.
Right.
Because I look after them.
That's something, a bliss, I believe.
It is indeed a blessing to have good people around, and they look after you. You're good to them, and it's just basically a matter of working out things with each other.
That's nice. So we go for a little commercial break. This is Red Talks with Rotti Hut.
Get your living area or office space be professionally cleaned. High standards you can trust for unbeatable pricings for professional and quality services. Trendy Nest.
So for the coffee break, we got sponsored by the Susport. I got something to ask from you. Who is a successful person according to Patras?
I think who is passionate about what they're doing, as long as they're happy what they're doing, and they have family around, and they are, like, I wouldn't say running the family, but they have a successful family unit which supports them every day, and they have a home to go back every evening. The success doesn't necessarily mean just the money, really.
That's what I was about to ask you, actually.
So as to my experience, I've sort of done quite a lot in terms of business, and we have good days and we have difficult days in the business. Unlike any business, whether it's small or big, small businesses, they have difficulties according to their level, and the bigger businesses, they have losses and profits according to their level. But I feel very privileged and successful. I have good people around. I have a good family unit around, and I think as long as the economically you go up and down, but as long as you have a sort of family and friends around who can support you and you can look after them, it's such a pleasure. So my family is my vault.
So you reckon that to be a successful person, that all those components need to be touched? And
I don't want to break heart with people who don't really have the family. They don't want to encourage the family unit. But to me, I think I feel more privileged and far more successful in life. After I have my family around, and we have grown up together.
But the happiness is, I believe, that it should be one of the most important things in the life, isn't it? Sometimes there should be a very rich person who is not really happy in their lives. So
yeah, I suppose happiness is basically kind of elaborated with others. You can't make yourself happy just alone. The Aristotle said that the man is a social animal, and to be a social animal, you need the people around. Whether it's your team, whether it's your family, and then it depends how much you are offering to the society, how much you're offering back, how much I am offering
your contribution.
back. My contribution towards back to the society, which is giving me a lot. That's like out of all the society, that's where I'm running my business. People pay me. So
absolutely,
like what I am giving back as a contribution, I work hard for it, but I give back quite a lot. I I engage with the people, I work with the religious organizations, I work with the social organizations, and makes me happy.
Yeah. When you say that the confidence, there's a saying called like, without the self-confidence, we will all be as babies in the cradle. So how important the confidence in your life? I know you're a successful businessman at the moment, so I'm sure that a lot of confidence is there. What should we do to keep our confidence level up?
Confidence is the key to do anything, basically. Even to run your own family, your own kids, you have to have a confidence. You know, that's like, let's put it this way. It is one of the elements that's basically is key to every success. Whether we are going on the road and driving the car, or whether we are walking on the road. So I think the key element for confidence is just like we have to be very happy with who we are. And no matter where we are and who we are, we have to be very happy and very humbled about it.
About ourselves.
About ourselves, yeah.
That will improve the confidence level of a person.
Yeah.
Do you have any hobbies or interests, Patras?
I used to play cricket.
Okay.
It's been a long time.
As Asians, the cricket is...
From Pakistan, so that's probably the same thing in Sri Lanka as well. So, the Pakistan probably has only one actual big sport, which is cricket. I used to play cricket. It's been a long time I haven't.
Right.
It's been a while, I think last about 10 years. I haven't played, but like here and there with my some of the friends, similar age friends, like in their 50s.
Right.
So we did do a few tournaments in the last about 4 to 5 years ago.
Okay.
They were arranged by the Pakistan the association.
Right.
But it's like now my tummy is going back a bit. But like at that time it was a little bit bigger, and then I see that there were some young men. They were sort of making fun of us. So I just told him, like, God, one of them has come here.
Yeah.
If because one of my friends has even like slightly larger tummy than me. So I told him, I said, if you have 20 kilo extra weight, then run, and then I see how far you run. Yeah.
So that, I know. So what do you think about that, having a hobby or interest in your life, say?
I think hobbies are very important. They give you extra pleasure, they relax you. So my hobby now is more like really, I do the things. I am very much engaged with a Islamic education trust called Al-Flah Education Trust. So I give a lot of time there. We're building a mosque in Papatoy.
Right.
So give a lot of my time there. Started giving a lot of time to our Pakistan Business Council, Pakistan New Zealand Business Council. So that's my hobby nowadays. I read lots of books.
Yes.
I read a lot. So pretty much apart than sort of like going for long walks, that's all.
Nice. So we're going for another commercial break, and we'll be back. This is Red Talks with Rotti Hut.
Do you want to feel the relishing excitement of Sri Lankan spicy cuisines? Now you can dine in or take home the most authentic Sri Lankan dishes. Rotti Hut, taking your taste buds to Sri Lanka.
Actually, Patras, we came into the end of the program actually, but we have 2 segments left. The first segment at Red Talks is Bread Wish. What we do is actually we offer you kind of a power that could be an imaginary power, like it's bigger than the executive presidency power maybe. So you could use that power to make this world a better place. If we offer you that power, what would you do to make this world a better place, and why would you do it?
Yep, it's. I think if I have a power around the world, then I could probably bring the balance of power. It is whether economically or in any means, where we have balances and people are not struggling. I am very fascinated with the Chinese, what they've done. Probably not the political arena, but like what they've done in the last 30 years. They have brought about 600 million people out of the poverty, and that's never happened in human history before.
Right.
So if I have certain powers, I would be certainly bringing the balance of power in the world. It is more towards the economically, where everybody is prosperous and everybody can make their living. It's not that everybody has to be Bill Gates, but like at least everybody has their own reasonable good life. Like it doesn't matter whether they are in the first world or whether they're in the third world.
So to make them everybody equal, there's no competition.
That's right.
At all.
Competition will be there, but at least everybody will be doing. It's a balance of power, which means balance of power means the competition will be there. But the balance will be there as well.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that would be a nice thinking. And the last segment of the program is guest advice. So we would love to know that anybody who watched Red Talks today, what is Patras' advice for everybody?
Work hard, be yourself, and have, if you're running the businesses or doing the jobs, have a lot of integrity, and that integrity will pay you back one day, whether it takes 10 years, whether it takes 20 years. Integrity and just be yourself. Confidence, that comes just being yourself. And what I believe is so far, this success goes around hard work, integrity, confidence.
I think it's a very good advice, Patras. And actually, we came into the end of our program today. So I would say that thank you very much for Rotti Hut for sponsoring us. Actually, you all know that Rotti Hut should be the only authentic Sri Lankan restaurant in New Zealand. Thank you, Rukman, for again for sponsoring us. But we won't send you empty-handed as well. From Rotti Hut, we got a voucher for you for the buffet for 2 persons to enjoy for 2 months.
Sure.
You can bring your lovely one for that. And thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.